Despite his health was not, but still Sashi sir has given us a precious time.
Our constitution reflects that idea. Some people on the other side like to point out that the word secular was only inserted during the emergency in the 42nd Amendment of 1976. But our constitution was a secular constitution without that word. And in the Constituent Assembly debates you can read that people said, let us introduce the word secular, and the Constitution drafter said it's not necessary. Everything about our Constitution assumes secularism.
हेलो एवरीवन, कैसे हैं आप लोग। वेलकम टू अनस क्लासेस। आपने मुझे इस चैनल में कभी ना कभी देखा ही होगा। तो आज मैं आपके लिए लेकर के आया हूँ एक बहुत एक्साइटिंग थैंक यू। क्यों? क्योंकि आपने हमें हमेशा सपोर्ट किया है और आपका इस सपोर्ट के लिए थैंक यू। हमारी इच्छा है कि आप हमें ऐसा ही प्यार दें, आगे भी हमें इतना ही सपोर्ट करते रहें। बाकी आप सभी को एक जानकारी मिल ही गई होगी कि CUET के एग्ज़ाम्स ख़त्म हो चुके हैं। दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय अपना कट ऑफ जारी करने वाला है। इन सब के विषय में कई सारे कमेंट्स और कई सारे स्टेटमेंट्स आ चुके हैं। हमारे वाइस चांसलर के भी स्टेटमेंट्स आ चुके हैं। और अगर आपको इस बारे में और भी जानकारी चाहिए तो आप हमारे चैनल के और भी वीडियोज़ को देख सकते हैं जो कि CUET के विषय में होंगे। बाकी जो भी बच्चा एक्साइटेड है दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय में आने के लिए, मैं भी दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय में आने के लिए इतना ही एक्साइटेड था। तो अब क्या है कि दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय में पढ़ाई के अलावा और भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं, जैसे कि डांस, सॉन्ग, बहुत सारे सेलिब्रिटीज़ से मिलने का मौका मिलता है। थंबनेल देख के आप समझ ही गए होंगे कि आज हम किस सेलिब्रिटी की बात करने वाले हैं। तो आज मैं आप सबके साथ एक वीडियो शेयर करने वाला हूँ। वो है बहुत ही फेमस ऑथर, बहुत ही फेमस पॉलिटिशियन, एक बहुत ही कम कंट्रोवर्सी में रहने वाले, बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सेप्टेड, ऑक्सफोर्ड में डिबेट कर चुके हमारे पॉलिटिशियन और कांग्रेस के नेता शशि थरूर जी का। अपने कॉलेज के दिनों में मैं इनका एक सेमिनार अटेंड करने के लिए गया था। आज मैं आप सबके साथ उस सेमिनार का एक वीडियो शेयर करने वाला हूं। आइए देखते हैं।
My Delhi University days with great affection. I came here in 1972 from Kolkata. I was at St. Stephen's College. I was an extremely active student in all sorts of extracurricular activities around campus. I've debated at most of the colleges around here. I've won, I think, pretty much everywhere. Whether it's Sri Ram or Kirori Mal or Hindu, I have won their trophies. And I was elected president of St. Stephen's Union, St. Stephen's College Union in my final year. And I don't think this lovely hall existed in my time. I've never seen it before, but it's a great setting and it's wonderful to see so many of you having turned up. The sound will have to be fixed, guys. Either that or somebody with a mobile phone is standing near the sound system and that may be affecting it. Yeah, because otherwise with these hums it'll be irritating for the others. As Neeraj mentioned, I have not been terribly well. I've been battling a very nasty virus for 4 weeks with cough, cold, fever. We're going through a challenging time. As you all know, those of us who believe in the values of the Congress Party, and the NSUI is very much an affiliate of the Congress Party, we have always stood for the foundational ideas of the Indian freedom struggle. What are these foundational ideas? See, don't forget that when our country's freedom struggle divided, it did not divide on ideological grounds of Marxist versus capitalist or socialist versus liberal. It divided, unfortunately, on religion, where one group of people said that religion should be the determinant of nationhood. That was the idea of Pakistan, and they created a separate country on the basis of that idea. And the remaining nationalists, by which I mean Mahatma Gandhi, of course, Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Azad, Dr. Ambedkar, Sardar Patel, Rajendra Prasad, you can name so many other heroes. They all said no, religion, the factor that defines what India is, emerges from that dispute in the freedom struggle. Did any of our leaders ever say, we are fighting for the rights of Hindus just as the Muslim League is fighting the rights of Muslims, we'll create two countries with two religions? Never. Never. That was never articulated by any of these leaders I've mentioned. They've always said the opposite. One party claims that they represent a separate nation, they want to create a separate nation. We disagree. We believe all Indians have far more that unites us, that we have in common, than that divides us, and we should keep the country together for everyone. Our constitution reflects that idea. You know, some people on the other side like to point out that the word secular was only inserted during the emergency in the 42nd Amendment of 1976. But our constitution was a secular constitution without that word. And in the Constituent Assembly debates you can read that people said, let us introduce the word secular, and the Constitution drafter said it's not necessary. Everything about our Constitution assumes secularism. Freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom not only of worship but of propagation of religion. You have the right to spread the news of your faith to others if you so wish. All of this means that the Constitution is one that does not favor any particular religion, that has not been written for people of. So that is the fundamental issue. Thereafter, there are what you may call policy issues. The Congress party has always stood for social justice. You may call it socialism, you may call it social justice, but the idea is very simple. We are also the party of liberalization from 1991. We started and have presided over the biggest periods of growth in the history of the Indian economy. The most sustained, highest growth has come under Congress government, under Narasimha Rao's government, under Manmohan Singh's government. But we had one big difference with the BJP. The BJP said India is shining without asking whom India is shining for. Our answer was India must shine, but it must shine for all. And as a result, we said we must have liberalization, the economy must grow, but the fruits of that growth, the revenues the government collects from that growth, must be distributed to the poor and the marginalized, those who have none. And that was the entire logic of our social economic policies. As I have explained it in Parliament, the magic of the market will not appeal to those who cannot afford to enter the marketplace. So those who are in that position, you must give them help. You have to give them resources. It's being dismissed by some as welfareism, povertarianism. We can't be apologetic about it. When people have nothing, they need welfare. The states must be strong enough and well off enough to give them that welfare. But the objective is not to keep them on welfare the rest of their life. The objective is to enable them to stand on their own feet, so they too can enter the market and they too can become consumers and producers. So ultimately, we are not a party that in any way is anti the market economy. That's what differentiates us from the communists. The communists have a much more anti-market position. We don't. As I say, we are the party of liberalization and growth, but mixed with social justice and distributive wealth. Otherwise, that fundamental difference over the identity of the nation, the idea of India, which is, as I said, embedded in our constitution. We want India to be a land for everybody, where your color, your culture, your cuisine, your caste, your creed, your costume, your customs, none of those has anything to do with your citizenship and your rights in this society. And with all those different elements making up our country, we have still managed a consensus. And what is that consensus? It is on the simple idea that in a large, diverse, and democratic country like India, you don't need to agree all the time, so long as you agree on the ground rules of how you will disagree. Now, what we are seeing today, for the first time in 70 odd years, is a government that neither accepts the idea of India, that it should be a land for everybody, nor.
तो उम्मीद है कि आप सबको ये वीडियो पसंद आया होगा। आज शशि थरूर जी ने हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के बारे में बहुत सारी अच्छी चीज़ें बताई। ऐसे ही एजुकेशन के साथ साथ कॉलेज एक्टिविटीज़ से रिलेटेड वीडियोस देखने के लिए हमारे चैनल पे आते रहिएगा। बाकी आप सब ने कौन कौन से सेलिब्रिटीज़ से दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय में पढ़ाई करते हुए मुलाकात की और आप किन से मिलना चाहते हैं वो हमें कमेंट्स में ज़रूर बताएं।